Hey there, it's Anthony from the IT Psychiatrist here, and welcome to another episode of BizBytes Live. The intent behind these is to provide very short, sharp quick commentary and discussion around how technology can be used in your business. If you've got a question, post it below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. It may not be in this one, but it may form the basis of a future chat. I'll also be publishing the schedule on my Facebook page, but over on YouTube as well. So if you do want to follow this, hit subscribe or hit follow, depending on which channel you're in. Today, I want to talk about 3 important words that your business needs to have during the current time, the current climate, but should have been thinking about before and definitely needs to be dealing with working forward. Now, in the current climate, we've got a lot of people working remotely, a lot of people working from home, and in many cases, some of those people are working on their own devices. They've left a laptop or a computer in the office. They're now at home working on a personal device. That device might be shared with any number of family members, flatmates, or other people in the house, and you can't necessarily control the security. So if you're using cloud services or certain applications, the 3 words you need to be thinking about today are multi-factor authentication, MFA. It's what's known in the industry as a level of security. What MFA or multi-factor authentication allows for you is to have an extra layer of control around how people log into your into the systems you're using or into the devices they've got. If you're familiar with Office 365, that runs an MFA channel. Facebook has MFA for those of you who have set it up where when you log in, you receive a text or a special code on your phone. Google also has something similar. So many applications out there already run MFA. Fairly easy to switch on if you've got the tools, and I won't talk you through how to switch them on, but I will advise you on how to get the help you need to do that. Basically, in a nutshell, what MFA does, I've already said it, it allows you to get an extra code when you try and log onto a system. So instead of just your username and password, you'll also get a secondary code coming through. Now, that code could be a text message, as I said, or it could be on an app. Microsoft and Google both have apps on the phone that you can install on the phone that you create accounts against, that you can use for Office 365, that you can use for various others. So I'll show you my phone just so you can see what we've got there. Oh, not so easy, not so clear. So that's Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and I've got a few other security apps in there as well. I won't show you what they are because once you get in there, you will see the codes and the secret source. But within my Google, I use the app to authenticate with Google. I also use it to authenticate with my website provider, with Adobe, which I use for file storage, and with Facebook. And in Microsoft, I've set that up for the 3 or 4 different companies that I am working with. So what happens when you've got MFA switched on depends on what control you put in place. Users or staff can either get a text message through to the phone to say, here's the unique code. That's how LinkedIn manages it quite well. In other cases, you might get, please open the app and enter the 6-digit code that's showing on your mobile phone within the Authenticator app. And in the third case, one that's common for me with Microsoft and the Microsoft Authenticator, is I will get a notification on my phone saying, you've just tried to sign in somewhere. Is this you? Approve or decline. Now, the value of it is it doesn't just add a layer of security, but it adds a layer of control as well. People know if someone's trying to hack into their account and they can stop it pretty quickly. So if username or password is compromised, it can easily make it trackable that something's happening that shouldn't be. Secondary to that as well is if you are using a shared computer and you are signing out of those apps on a regular basis, it means that someone else in your family or in your bubble won't be able to get into an app you don't want them to. A good tip, if you are using a shared computer, is to sign out of applications, particularly online applications, when you're not using them. So if you're on Office 365 and you're on a shared computer, make sure you sign out at the end of every day before you close that laptop down. Because if your flatmate or your kids, teenagers in the house then come on, they've got full access into that instance of the application. So you don't want them doing that. MFA is very easy to switch on if you've got admin privileges for many of the tools that you're using. Many CRMs do have an MFA option to them as well. If you haven't got the admin privileges, make sure you talk to someone in your business who does, and then you can actually share or get them to set that up for you. Make sure you communicate out to all the staff what you're doing so that they understand as well, because that's one of the biggest traps is if you don't tell them. So that's it for today. Very short, sharp BizBytes Live on multi-factor authentication. Later this week, I've got 2 special guests that I'll be talking to, Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be posting more about them. One is Robert Blass. He's a data architect. We're talking about the importance of data and data planning. And the other is Alec McNaughton from Strategic Sales Consulting. We'll be talking about sales in the technology environment. So subscribe or follow the channel, and we'll catch you all later in the week.